Hey, what's up guys? So if you're watching this video, then obviously the unfortunate situation has happened and you just found out that your partner or your love of your life, you want to call it that, has just had an affair on you and you're just not really sure what to do and what to really expect moving forward. And I remember when I found out that my partner had an affair with somebody else. I was devastated. I was completely heartbroken. I did not know what to do with myself. And I just continued to Google and just search for answers for anything that I could use to just make me feel better, right? Was it my fault? Did I do something wrong? Could I have done anything different to make my partner not cheat on me? Just all of these different scenarios where I just wanted answers to make myself as well as the pain just go away. And so if you're dealing with the situation, you just found out and you're just looking for something to make you feel better, I'm going to try my best. And I just wanted to share some of my coping strategies that I ended up using to actually help me get through that horrible ordeal. And in fact, actually turn my situation into something that actually benefited me in the long run. So just stick around and see if some of these insights that I can hopefully provide to you can ultimately make you feel better and hopefully just allow you to move on with your life here on out. One of the most important things you're gonna have to start utilizing right here, right now is your support system. And obviously, people like your friends, like your best friends, brothers, sisters, your family, and anybody else you feel like you have a close relationship with. And I cannot stress this enough on just how important utilizing your support system is. And I remember for my situation, I basically called my friends on an almost hourly and daily basis, just trying anything to just not be alone in my predicament. I called my mom every day. I called my best friends every day. I just wanted to have someone there to just listen to me and just vent my emotions, my frustrations, my anger, my sadness, just everything that I needed. I just wanted to do everything in my power to not be alone. So if you find yourself in a situation where you just need someone to talk to, like definitely utilize your support system. Doesn't matter if you haven't spoken to them in months or weeks or years or whatever. Like if you guys had some form of connection at some point in your life, just give them a call and see. I mean, at this point, you're willing to talk to a random stranger and just let all your emotions out. Because it's really important that one thing is that you cannot bottle this in. You have to be able to just express your emotion, just let everything out. And one other thing that actually really helped me out is through a subreddit group called Surviving Infidelity. And I would just basically either read people's posts or post myself and just kind of having a community, realizing that, you know what, I'm not the only one going through this ordeal and this situation, that other people are going through things that are just as devastating, if not worse, for people, let's say, who've been married 15, 20, 30 years to all of a sudden finding out that their partner had an affair. And it's like, what do you do from there, you know? So I definitely highly recommend checking out the Surviving Infidelity subreddit and just, utilize your support network. One of the more obvious ones is you have to basically disconnect your communication and at this point your relationship with your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend or whoever it is. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to, when I say get a chance, I unfortunately did not do that. At some point, I, for one reason or another, felt like, you know what, I am a strong man. I'm good enough to basically handle that ability to have a communicative interaction with my ex-girlfriend, assuming that, you know what, I'm just going to show her that I'm a better person, that I'm strong, I'm stoic, I'm good enough. But in reality, it was basically like picking a scab that you already have and you're constantly just picking at it over and over and over in hopes that, hey, it's going to get better, right? But the faster you get a chance to just really cut off communication, whether it's through Facebook, definitely Facebook, right? Do not be stalking your partner or ex-partner on Facebook or social media. And two, just getting away from that environment. So if you happen to be living together, I highly recommend just getting out of that house, apartment, studio, whatever it is, as soon as possible. And either she finds a new place or he finds a new place or you find a new place, because let's face it, it's going to be a very, very horrible and dire situation for you if you end up continuing to be in the presence of their presence, right? And One thing that I want to mention is that, a lot of times we assume that let's try and win them back. Let's try and see what we can do to get them back. And I know this is going to be on a lot of people's minds is, can I win them back? Let's put it this way, okay? They cheated on you. And if they were ever a single of a moment remorseful for what they did, they would be trying everything in their power to try and win you back. Okay? They should be crawling through the mud, going through the grind of trying to show you that they are sorry and that they made a mistake. But if you have to put in work to show your partner that you are better, that is a complete no, okay? You have to understand that if you're doing that, you have to cut that off right now. And let's put it this way. If you're doing that, this is what you have to picture in their mind. I have my affair partner, but I also have this guy who was my ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend also treating me really nicely. They're basically having their cake and eating it too. So don't give them that sense of gratification, okay? Gratification. Gosh, don't give them that sense of gratification, okay? Remembering the things that used to bring you happiness and joy. And this one took me a long time to really figure out because I didn't really know what made me happy anymore. And this may happen to a lot of us, is that when we let's say when we're with our partner for, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, a lot of our identity and the things that we used to do as a couple is tied to that relationship. And as a result, when we are no longer together, all of a sudden we start to lose this sense of identity. We start to lose this feeling of indigestion. What made me happy? Who am I? What are the things that I used to like to do? And this is one of the key moments in your life that you have to realize that, you gotta continue to do the things that made you happy, the things that bring you joy, and just things that make you feel good inside, right? For me, it was basketball and video games. I mean, video games not so much anymore, but it was kind of like just getting my mind away from that predicament and that ordeal that allowed me to kind of feel like, this is what life was supposed to be like. This is what life is. It's about just doing the things that make you happy without feeling any remorse or any guilt that you're doing because your partner is no longer there to tell you, hey, stop watching TV, hey, stop playing video games. Just do the things that used to bring you happiness, okay? And there's obviously a little caveat there is that you cannot, if video games is your thing, okay, try to minimize it to some degree. Like we cannot just come home from work or whatever it is that you're doing and just sit on the couch for like 4 or 6 hours just constantly playing away. We got to find other motives of inspiration to keep ourselves and our daily life going, okay? So don't forget that. Another obvious one is you got to minimize your intake of drugs and alcohol, assuming that if drugs are a thing. So we all know that alcohol and drugs has a tendency to mask the situation, right? It's a way of getting out of our own heads and just saying, we're going to just drink our wallows away. Is that the right word? Our sorrows away. Or we're going to take some type of hallucinogen or drug or whatever it is and just say, screw it. I'm just going to go through La La Land and go. Anyways, you guys get my point. It's okay to have a few drinks here and there. It's okay to binge your ice cream. It's okay to binge, things that you enjoy eating. But obviously, one of the most important things that we all have to realize is that we have to essentially get a good understanding of our emotions and our feelings, right? And I like to express it this way, considering that I am in a medical health profession, is that if your knee is, for example, if you're having shoulder pain, knee pain, back pain, there's a specific reason why you're having this issue. And if you're constantly taking pain medication, you're taking opioids, you're taking anything that's masking the pain, well, you're not really addressing the issue, right? Same thing with emotional pain is obviously you are hurting, you are experiencing just depression, sadness, grief, all of that stuff from the Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of grief. But at some point, you have to get a handle of it and say, you know what? I'm feeling depressed. This is what it is. Let's try and figure out what it is that I can do to get myself away from this depressive state or whatever it is that's making me feel sadness, anxiety, etc. So it's okay to have a few drinks here and there. It's okay to hit the pot if you're in a legal state. But at some point, the best scenario is to basically get a good grasp of what it is that you're experiencing so that you can better get a manage of all of your negative emotions in the future. Do not jump back into a new relationship. And this one I highly put on the top of the list next to the support group and not talking to your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, is that the first thing that most of us are gonna wanna do is download or try to go on a date. We're gonna go hit the bar. And you could clearly see why this is a bad idea. Because one, you just literally got out of out of a relationship and you are clearly not emotionally ready. Two, you're gonna end up transferring that negative energy towards this future partner, and assuming if you just want to, let's say, get laid, that's all you care about, right? Guys or girls, doesn't matter. You could see that this is not a good idea. It's because you have not processed the situation that has happened to you. And I understand our feelings of longing, the feeling of being loved and wanted is such a high demand, particularly knowing that our partner just threw us in the ditch and just said, you know what? I'm done with you, right? Essentially, that's what it is. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is have that affirmation like, you know what? Am I good enough? Am I gonna be okay? Like, do you love me? Am I lovable? Yes, you are, okay? You wanna understand is that, whatever it is that your partner did to you is not your fault. You have to stop blaming yourself and know that, as long as you were a good person and you did everything that you could to create a satisfying and fulfilling relationship, then you can't blame yourself, right? It's not your fault that your partner has shitty values and they just basically decided that, you know what, I'm gonna be selfish and I'm just gonna do what I wanna do because I don't care about your feelings. Essentially, that's what cheating partners do. It's all they care about is themselves. And so, do yourself a favor and don't rush into a relationship right away, because that's clearly what I did. And it took me about a month, more like 4 months to realize, like, you know what the hell am I doing? This is clearly, I am not ready. Because every date that I went on, I was clearly holding back. But at the same time, I wanted that particular person to reach out to me and like, hey, I'm here for you if you ever need me. But in reality, I was just not emotionally ready. So, before you get back into a new relationship, you have to be able to process all of the things that has happened to you. And you have to, more importantly, be emotionally ready for yourself as well as for your future partner. Personal growth and development. And one of the things that I started doing more frequently, even to this day, is actually I started reading a lot of books. And the type of person that I am is that I'm a very, very introspective person. I like to learn about things that essentially bother me, right? I like to learn about basically the side of human development and human emotions. And so I started reading books like Mr. Nice Guy, I read so many books that I don't even remember, but I just read everything that was related to like personal development, personal growth, and just things that relate to human connection and human emotions. Depending on what it is that you like to do, I would highly recommend picking up books that coincide with the things that you want to do for your future. So it's a good thing to learn right now, particularly right now, some of the things that you want in your future partner or in your future life, right? What are your wants? What are your desires? And what are the things that you want to attain for your future? Think of this moment right here, right now, of hitting a hard reset button, okay? You're back to level 0, and all of a sudden you get to decide what it is that you want in your life. And it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are, it is never too late to continue to grow and continue to develop as a human being. So I would highly suggest, again, in my opinion, start reading some books on personal development, personal growth, and start doing the things that you just want to start doing, and just learn from that and just continue to be a better person. This one may not pertain to many people, and this one might actually be very hard, and it's on the idea of being alone. And so I'm originally from California, and I am currently living in the state of Washington. When I found out that my ex-girlfriend had cheated on me, and just an FYI, we were together for about 10 years, so pretty much a decade. I have no connections here in the state of Washington. All of my friends were asking me, what the hell am I still doing in Washington? Why don't you just move back so that you could be basically being with your family, you could be with your close friend, and you could be with people who actually love and care about you. And obviously it did sound enticing to me, right? I mean, I had nothing here. I had no friends, I had no connections. What the hell am I doing still here? And I'll be honest, the reason why I was still here is because I had a little glimpse of hope that me and my ex-girlfriend would actually get back together, right? Anyways, the one thing the one thing that I really got to learn in terms of being alone in a state where I just didn't have anybody is that I got a chance to really, really learn about myself. And this was one of the more harder struggles in my life, actually, is because, and this is actually something that I would actually reinforce or encourage people to actually try and do, is that in order for us to actually learn and grow and become better people, especially after an ordeal such as this, is being able to just completely understand yourself. And by being by myself, I got a chance to really do that. And one of the other things is that I got a chance to really learn from my mistakes and my weaknesses and ultimately become a better person because of that. And I know most of you may not be aware, but it's like I was a shy kid. I was a very introverted kid. I had no self-confidence. I had basically all of the shy attributes that you would see a person who had no self-confidence in high school. I was able to build on that because of being by myself. And the reason why it's important to be by yourself is because you don't have a backup system, right? Let's face it, we've all been there where if we're feeling sad, we're feeling depressed, the first thing we're going to do is just either go to our parents' house or we're going to go visit our good friend's house. Be like, hey man, can we just hang out? I just don't feel like being alone, right? But a different story is if you're by yourself, you don't have those solutions for you. I mean, granted, you could definitely call them, but it's not the same as having them, being in close proximity with you. And so for me, that allowed me to really get a good understanding and really get a good chance to just be able to harness those negative emotions and just the things that I was feeling constantly in my head to get a better grasp of my situation. So depending on how resilient and gritty you are, and if it's just something you definitely want to try and do it, I would highly recommend that everyone go through the challenge of actually being alone. Hopefully, those of you who are watching this video get a better understanding of just yourself. And I know that you're hurting. I know that you're in pain and you want everything and anything to just get this negativity and this depression just out of your system. And I remember one of the things that my mom actually told me when I called her is like, she wishes that she could take the pain away and just, she wishes she could take this pain for me, actually. Hopefully I said that right. And, looking back now, I'm glad I went through this episode. I'm glad I went through this ordeal because this is going to really push your limits as far as how resilient are you? How much grit do you have? Are you going to let your partner or your ex-partner win? Are you just going to say, you know what, I give up on life. I'm just going to just give up and it's going to be continue to be depressed, sad, and all of that negative crap. And I want you to do this right now is you got to start basically taking responsibility just for everything that has happened. Not to take the blame. It's just different to say that I'm blaming myself, but it's more responsibility of your emotions and your current state of mind, okay? And I forgot to mention one last thing that really helped me out is through the philosophy of Stoicism. And when I got into the philosophy of Stoicism, it really helped me get a better understanding of myself. Because what the primary philosophy of Stoicism is to teach people is that, one, everything that is in your control should be within your control, right? Anything that is external from your environment, things like the weather, things like other people's emotions and their interactions with you are not in your control. So why bother worrying about that? But if I could control my ability to, let's say, depression, right? If I'm feeling sad, I at least have some control of depression because I could basically, for example, go to the gym, I could go to the basketball courts, and I could essentially try and make myself feel better, right? When you're able to start comprehending this and just taking personal responsibility for everything that's going on in your life, all of a sudden, new door and new windows and whatever analogy you want to use related to opening new doors is going to start opening up for you. So I highly recommend maybe getting a look into the concept of Stoic philosophy. And if you're not into philosophy, you're into religion, you believe in Christianity, Catholicism, you could put it this way. God is testing you. God is putting this ordeal in front of you to see how well you could essentially adapt and ultimately become a better person because of these negative things that you're experiencing in your life right now. And that's actually one good way to think about it is God is testing me. This is an ultimate test to see what I'm made of. And I want to show and prove to God that, you know what? Thanks, God. I'm gonna basically take this negativity and this ordeal that's currently in my situation and currently in front of me, and I'm gonna use it to become a better person. Because let's face it, the only reason, or not the only reason, but the only way we can continue to develop and continue to be better people is when we actually go through struggles, right? If everything in life was perfect for us, then there would be no reason for us to adapt or change our current behavior. But because we're going through such shit right now, this is the moment for you to just start realizing the things that you want in your life, the things that you desire, and the things that you ultimately want to see happen in your future. So definitely use this opportunity right now to just basically figure out what it is you want, my friend. Okay? And so I hope you learned a little something about this video, and I hope that I provided some words of encouragement. And I'm not really good at these types of things, but I just wanted to share some of my insights into some of the things that I ended up doing throughout my, God, it's almost 2 years actually. It'll be 2 years in October. Anyways, to that moment where I went from literally almost killing myself to the better person that I am today, right? And just to give you again a little insight of the transformation that I had, I am a better public speaker. I am more confident. I'm not as shy as I used to be. I got a chance to really learn how to invest and just make money in the stock market. I got a chance to really learn a lot of things about myself and ultimately the things that I want in a partner in the future mate, and just whatever it is that you want to say. You know, I got a chance to really learn the things that I want in my life, and I'm not going to continue to stop learning. I'm going to continue to grow and become a better person for whatever, my future person, or in this case, my future self. So I wish you luck, and you know, if you like my advice, you know, share this with your friends, and just make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Sorry, gotta throw that in there. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.